please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. We came for one man, forget my peace. You take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise, move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys, man so tough when mans keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize, right guys, better tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan, if you wanna touch me, please use caution. Stop that, stop that, stop that.
Dan is off for the day, for the week, actually. He is in L.A. Again, he loves going to L.A. He is, this is part 2 of his sit-downs with Joy Taylor, Sedano, and Gojo. So he is out for the week, and I have 2 rules when Dan is out. Lazy River, have fun. I hate doing that because it suggests that we don't have fun when Dan is here.
I don't think you hate doing that.
I don't.
Can I implement a Dan fine? Like every time you mention Dan, you owe $1 to the fine bucket?
That's the last time I'm going to mention Dan.
Unless it's funny. Then you get $1 from the fine bucket.
Last time I'm going to mention Dan. Billy, you said we can't talk about the Panthers until they made it to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Here we are.
We are here.
Yes.
But I have a bone to pick with the NHL, but we don't need to get into that today.
Why?
Well, because last year I went, if you want to get into it, we can. Last year I went and I did, I thought, a great job of covering the Stanley Cup final. I was there as a credentialed member of the media.
You were.
And I was, as I've often said, the Florida Panthers do not win a Stanley Cup final game without Billy Gill in attendance. And that is a fact. You can look it up. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to keep that streak alive this year. And I reached out to the people in this company that deal with credentials. And I said, hey, I'd like to offer my services to cover the Stanley Cup final again because I think that we did a great job. I know we have a hockey show now, but I want to pitch in if we have to. Last year, I don't want to say we carried it with God Bless Hockey, but we did, I think a lot of significant lifting. Then, Roy got his head out and he did a hockey show now, so they don't necessarily need my services as much as they did last year. But I still volunteered, I can go, I can cover the game, be it on social, be it on the hockey show, or just, being informed on this show. So I offered to go, and I'd said I'd like a credential. And then Roy informed me that the credential process was closed on May 30th, which I don't know that I believe. I think Roy's trying to keep me away from the Stanley Cup final.
On May 30th, you were not ready to talk Panthers, though.
Well, no team had been decided by May 30th, and last year, after the teams were decided, is when my credential was put in. So unless they changed the process or whatever, something happened where Roy's telling me that I can't go to credential, I don't know if I believe it, and I'm not ready to declare hockey as dead, but if that's how we're treating credentialed members of the media, we're locking them out of covering their hometown teams during the Stanley Cup final, then, what are we going to do? How am I going to help grow the sport?
I heard Rose is in charge of credentials
Really?
now, so I think if you talk to her, she can get you.
You went to the wrong person.
I did. I went to Cynthia and Roy, but I'm now going to loop in Rose and say, hey, Rose. Not going to do John because I don't know what
Are you
going to
go to
I'd show up
Edmonton?
to. What?
Are you going to go to Edmonton?
No, come on.
Chris,
I have a family.
Are you going to go to Edmonton?
No one's going to Edmonton.
I want to so badly.
Which is Edmonton?
There are no
Canucks?
directees. I'm telling you right now. It's like an 8-hour trip. Mike, you're not going to Edmonton, are
It's
you?
a 14
8
hour,
hours.
14 hours?
14-hour travel day when you include the layovers.
I think you need to take sled dogs at some point, too.
Do you have intentions of going to Edmonton?
I would like to, like from a hockey experience, a Stanley Cup final where your team is playing against a Canadian team.
Yes.
That's an experience that you often dream about. However, because the Panthers specifically have home ice in this, I don't think I can make the schedule work. I'm either missing a wedding or my wife's birthday.
Wow.
She's had plenty of those.
Wow.
Whose wedding, though?
Yeah.
So it's like it's a cousin. It's a cousin-in-law. And it's not
In-laws.
One of Cynthia's cousins.
cousin-in-law?
Well, I love her, but it's also not the first marriage.
Okay, then you don't need to go.
What?
I was going to ask, what do we think are the chances of this
Even
works
if you
out?
weren't going to Edmonton, you shouldn't go.
Hold on. Did you go to the first? Did you go to the first marriage?
And is it in Miami?
I wasn't around for the first marriage, so yeah. And I've been around for a while, so
Huh.
Okay, so that one barely counts then.
Did Cynthia go to the first marriage?
she did.
Did she get a gift?
Did she get a gift?
Did she get a gift for the cousin?
Oh yeah, well definitely.
Oh, then no second wedding gift, right? Do we agree on that?
I think
You don't need to buy people 2 wedding gifts, even if it's the second marriage.
here's
You
the
got
thing.
your one.
I mean,
it was-
depends.
If you liked it so much, you should have gotten it in the divorce, but that's a story.
We RSVP'd yes because when the invite came, this was a discussion. I saw the date, and I'm like, just know, we're at RSVP, yes, but there's a chance that we're in the Stanley Cup final at this time, and just file that one away. And sure enough, it's poked its head, because if the Panthers had home ice, I could just go to the wedding, because thankfully it's a daytime wedding.
Sure.
And
love that.
And I could have just
Question.
jetted over to Game 3.
Was the first spouse, did they pass away, or was it a divorce?
No, they're amicable divorce.
I don't know what I'm rooting for here.
Yeah, I know. Do you like the spouse? Ex-spouse?
Yeah.
Who do you like better, the ex-spouse or the future spouse?
I like them both. Like them both.
You have an
you gotta
out
pick
now,
one.
though.
Cop out,
I mean,
yeah.
you have to go to Edmonton, but
Shop
you have
for
an
your
out.
life.
I mean,
Yeah, but I've always wanted to go to Edmonton. I just don't think it's going to be in the cards. But I'm really excited about this Stanley Cup. It's not the Canucks, it's the Oilers. It's Oilers, Florida, and it's a dream matchup. You have arguably the game's biggest star in Connor McDavid, a guy that's reputed to be its best player, against, I'll say it right now, the best Florida Panthers team of all time. So yeah, this should be great hockey. I was probably, if you would have had me on truth serum, I probably would have preferred Edmonton get the draw from a what our chances are point of view, because I'm a huge fan of the Dallas Stars. I think their depth would provide to be a problem. But
the Stars made you nervous.
They did. The
They
Tanev
did.
injury did kind of change things, because we'll probably find out. I think that dude broke his foot blocking a puck, and all that dude does is block pucks. But Edmonton poses a sincere threat, not just because they have two individual talents in Draisaitl and McDavid that can just, as McDavid showed last night, they didn't get a lot of shots. He provided one hell of a chance just by his God-given natural ability. I kind of fear centerman more, as we've seen throughout this playoff run. There have been some really top-tier wingers that have gone up against the Florida Panthers, and they've been fairly neutralized. Kucherov, Panarin was neutralized. Pastrnak had his games, but also neutralized, even though he plays a different type of game. I think how you bother Florida is more direct play. Center of the ice was totally erased against New York, but they're not this muscular team. They're not this tough team. Zach Hyman, who's commonly referred to as Shaq Hyman, is a 50-goal scorer, and what he does is he parks his big body in front of that goalie, and he makes life difficult. We'll see if Edmonton's going to be able to do what New York either just wasn't able to or didn't even really try to do. So it's a really interesting clash of styles. Tkachuk has his history with Edmonton. It should be a really great Stanley Cup final.
Is it fair to say that Edmonton's path to the final was a little bit easier than the Panthers? And will that come into play at all?
Yeah, well, keep in mind, they did beat Dallas, so it's like Highlander. You get credit for, I guess, Dallas's victories, because Dallas went through a really great Vegas team. They went through Colorado. They had the Nishishkin thing fall on their heads, and that probably altered that series. But I'm really surprised to see Edmonton here. They did not play well against Vancouver, and I thought headed back to Edmonton, they'd once again fold under the weight of these expectations. I was kind of manifesting a Dallas score 4 minutes into that game, and the entire nervous energy of a country falls upon that barn. But
you were also just hoping for the direct flight to Dallas on American.
Hub City to Hub City would have been.
What an easier.
You can be honest.
Yes.
Yeah, Hub City to Hub City would have been pretty great.
The thing about this series is we're not just playing against Edmonton.
Right.
We're going up against the entire country of Canada.
Really?
Yeah, but you have all of America behind you.
That's true.
Well,
Is that what this is?
I mean, I bet
It's us versus Canada.
when's the last time Canada won a Stanley Cup?
I mean, the
1993.
Canadians have won
1993.
23 of them.
I'm a
So
hockey expert.
Yeah, 1993. I think the last time a Canadian team was in the Stanley Cup was during the pandemic. Montreal was randomly in the Western Conference.
Who
And they
knew?
played,
I think Canadian teams have won 37 Stanley Cups, though.
They haven't won since '93.
What have you done for
Just-
me lately?
When was the
Yes.
Panthers? When did they? What was their first
96?
season?
Oh,
So
no, 94 was their first
thought you
season.
meant
it's been
1993.
longer. Like all of Florida's entire life
Yeah.
as a hockey team.
Yeah, this is our 30th
Wow.
anniversary as a
No
team. But
Canadian Stanley
you
Cup.
mentioned the Oilers' path. Let's reflect on what the Panthers' path is right now, because you couldn't have drawn up a more intimidating / a more fun path, especially when you've gone through 3 of them already. Your hated rival in Tampa Bay, that was Daddy, that was your boogeyman. You got rid of them. You dispatched them in the first series. Then you go through the Boston Bruins and their fan base, a team that was a President's Trophy winner last year, that on the last day still had the division lead. You go through them, and then you go through the President's Trophy winning New York Rangers. Again, there's that pesky Biden Cup curse, Billy.
Yep.
And now you're against Canada. Well, I don't think there's a better, more
all
interesting
of Canada.
path.
Yes.
I've been told otherwise. I've been told that all of Canada is not rooting for Edmonton.
Well, like Calgary Flames fans are certainly rooting for Matthew Tkachuk and the Florida Panthers.
My wife was railing about the Canadian teams in the NHL last night. She became a hockey fan this week, and she was railing, saying, why don't they have their own league? And I said if they had their own league, they would be the better league.
Well, if they only had Canadian players.
Well, that's what she was saying, yes.
When they regrouped the divisions for the pandemic. During the pandemic, they regrouped the divisions, which is why Montreal found itself in the West. And there was, like, all the Canadian teams were grouped together, and that was kind of fun.
I mean, Edmonton, people don't realize this, but Edmonton has won 5 Stanley Cups. Like, Edmonton is...
People don't realize this?
I don't think people... Because they
people
won
don't
them back
realize
in the
the Boston
80s.
Celtics have won quite a bit.
You're right. What else do people not realize?
I think people do realize that
That's a good
Edmonton,
game.
it's what they have. Like, they were the club of Gretzky and Messier.
Yeah, I think people are aware of that, perhaps, but
Maybe.
it's been a while. I
Right.
think it's fair to say
Since
that
the 80s.
this is the most.
They haven't
now that
been-
Connor McDavid is on the Oilers, is like the most relevant they've been since that.
Yeah, they haven't. Well, 2006 they made the Cup final. I think they played Carolina. It's been a while since it's almost been like 20 years since that franchise has been there. And yeah, you mentioned Connor McDavid, and I imagine the hype machine will grow because he's a kind of name that people have maybe heard about. If you 100 people surveyed, name a hockey player, maybe a casual sports fan might rattle that name off first. And he's incredibly brilliant. He showed last night exactly why he's hyped. He's probably not going to win the Hart Trophy this year, but he's won 3 Hart Trophies in his career. In fact, I saw a cool graphic. What was the draft year? But there was a year that the top picks were Aaron Ekblad, Sam Bennett, Leon Draisaitl, Sam Reinhart went 2nd overall that year. So you have the top 4 picks of that draft all in this series. There's a lot of talent on the ice.
And we're back.
We are.
Stugotz. So Darren Waller is expected to retire before next week after releasing a music video last week. Mm-hmm. And Kobayashi has retired from the competitive food eating game,
Right.
citing that he's retiring because his body hurts.
Yes.
Which seems like the most obvious thing in the world when you eat 50,000 hot dogs.
I'm surprised it took this long, to be honest with you, on Kobayashi.
He was in really good shape, I think, considering all of the bad food that he was eating.
Yes. We were discussing during the break that we are getting dangerously close to just baseball and Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, that's how that came up.
That's where we're at in the sports calendar. Joey Chestnut and baseball.
And the WNBA.
We were just talking
And
about
the
the
WNBA.
WNBA.
I'm sorry.
Seconds ago.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But no one likes Caitlin Clark, not even her teammates.
I don't know
I
if
said
that's
it.
true. I don't know if that's true. I have heard the take that like the Fever need an enforcer and they need someone to like defend her or at least like pick her up when she falls down. And I do get that. Like I do think the other side of that though is that the Fever have had like the toughest schedule so far this season.
Right.
They're just trying to get through every game. Like last night against the Liberty was so bleak. I don't know if you even watched it, Juju.
Hell
It
yeah.
was a complete blowout. Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark both ended up going to the locker room late in the game with injuries. Hopefully they're both okay, but they're just trying to get through it. They're not a good team. They're not really getting better either.
Well, they're playing every night also.
They're
it feels
playing like every other day. They've had 11 games, I think, in 19 days or something like that. And half of them at least have been nationally televised, if not more. So I don't know. I feel like they're still trying to figure it out as a team, and this is part of that. It's just they've got a lot of young players, not a huge veteran presence on that team, and like no one's brand new head coach. Last year was her first year as a head coach in the W. First year as a head coach, I think, in her career. There's just a lot of pieces they need to
How
figure
have the
out.
Aces played 6 games and they've played 11?
Right.
The schedule, yeah.
That's
They're trying to
insane
capitalize on
scheduling.
Caitlyn's star power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They
Well, they're gonna get her
5 days
killed.
off
It's
right
also
now.
a compressed schedule because of the Olympics.
You mentioned that you're fearing the days of just baseball going on in the sporting calendar.
Yes.
Jess is correct to point out it's an Olympic year, and also that month of July that you're probably fearing, it's one of those special every 2 years you get big time soccer tournaments.
Oh,
And
boy.
we've got Copa America. The final's actually going to be here in Miami, and you also have the Euros going on simultaneously. So it's not that bad of a summer.
So nothing to watch.
2 words, Indiana Fever. Liz Cambage.
Oh, God. I don't know how that's going to
Juice ain't worth the squeeze. I'm sorry.
I didn't even
Don't even think about it. I'm sorry.
I didn't even shoehorn the Enjoy Illinois 300.
Who?
from St. Louis.
What are you
is
talking
that?
about?
2 more words, Indiana Fever.
Why are you so into these fringe sports like recently?
It's
When-
a bit,
Soccer.
I think. It's not
Yellow
real.
jerseys.
What?
Oh, I like that. I didn't like the red jerseys. I'm not
Did
gonna
you
lie.
lump
Right.
soccer in as a fringe sport?
I did,
That's
yes.
the biggest sport in the world, but
It's not,
Allegedly.
though.
I watched a soccer show.
that's not how that happens.
I
The
watched
world
the-
is right here in the United States of America, and here it is not the biggest sports.
It's
I mean,
pretty big. I mean, the
Yeah.
U.S. women's national team played a friendly on was it Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah,
I can't
Emma
get my
Hayes,
days of
first,
the week
first game.
straight. There were a lot of people there. It is very popular.
Okay.
Yeah, the Copa America final. Copa America usually just happens with South American teams. There have been a couple of exceptions.
Right.
But now you have CONCACAF in this tournament as well. So you crown a champion of North and South America. And like I said, the final is going to be a massive event at Hard Rock Stadium that is happening down here in South Florida.
Are you a summer Olympic guy or a winter Olympic guy? I don't like the Summer Olympics. I don't like the games.
What?
I don't.
It all
I
depends.
don't.
For me, it
Nah.
all depends on the time.
Give
the
me some
time zone.
downhill skiing.
Summer
give me
is
something
so much
that,
better.
you know?
Are you crazy?
I don't like the Summer Olympics.
So
I'm
much
sorry.
better summer.
Yeah.
Summer is like not even
Really?
a competition. Beach volleyball? Are you
summer's way
kidding
better.
me?
Beach volleyball back in the 80s when Karch Karai was going at it, that was great. I mean, no, he's the greatest volleyball player ever. I mean,
summer by far is a much better viewing experience, top down, much better sports. I will say for the Winter Olympics, I have my single favorite Olympic sport,
Skeleton.
which is Olympic hockey.
Oh,
right.
what?
When the big boys are playing in it. Yeah, that Canada-USA game, it was just an all-timer.
Right.
I like the freestyle when the skaters, I think Christy Yamaguchi and them girls, salute to them girls.
Yeah.
Winter games.
I like
got
the
the-
cross country skiing that has like crossbows involved as well.
And like guns.
Yeah.
Exactly
shoot
right.
something.
It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
it's like an action movie.
They're skiing on like a flat surface. Like
All
they're
the
not
things
even-
you were
it's not
talking
even
about
down.
are winter games, not
Exactly.
summer games.
Yeah.
I don't
Jared
like the
Allen
summer
gonna be
games.
Is Jared Allen? I think he's training to be an Olympian.
No, he is,
Curling.
right? We
Yeah.
had him on, right?
Yeah, curling.
But he
Isn't
was
there-
far from making it the last time we spoke to him.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
golf in this Olympics, right? Like last Olympics was
Yes.
the first
Yeah, but I
time
don't care.
in
Winter
there-
golf?
Yeah.
No, summer golf.
I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
hard to golf. in
Winter
snow,
golf would
white
be
ball.
fun.
How are you gonna
Yeah.
find?
But I don't care about
Coco
summer
golf.
golf. I don't care about Olympic golf.
Go golf, yeah.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I really don't care about the Olympics.
Yeah, it's
I said
it's
it.
quite obvious.
What do you care about these days, Stugotz? I think we should do a top 5 list that Stugotz
Stugotz,
cares about.
CJ Stroud's top 5.
Kobayashi's quote was he no longer has hunger, which I feel like might be where you're at as well.
Is that metaphorical or literal? Hunger.
Probably
Weed helps with that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one of the things I like. I mean,
So in terms of things that you're actually paying
right.
regular attention to,
Yes.
it's just pro football and golf at this point. For
And
you.
Dead and Company.
It's debatable how much. It's
And the French
No,
Open.
and the French
lacrosse.
Open if their
And
matches
lacrosse.
run late.
Yes.
Yeah.
The things I want to be paying attention to at this stage of my career and my life.
Yeah.
Salute to Dead and Company also for showing that, doing the Bill Walton tribute behind them.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
It was very
Hats off.
cool.
Were you
Yes,
there?
sir.
I was not there. No.
Oh, you missed that one.
2 weeks, yeah.
Oh, shame.
It's tough because they're there every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and every Wednesday I'm thinking about booking a flight. I am. And hopping on a bird to go to Vegas because I can. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking about doing it this weekend.
Why
How about
didn't you? Why didn't you last weekend, knowing that Bill had
that?
passed? and-
I had things to do.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Just, getting ready for the summer games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney ran out of gas on the final lap.
Get
It looked
outta
like he was
here.
gonna take the checkered flag.
Really?
And a total miscalculation. Alex Cindric actually gets playoff position. There's a cool wreck between Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch. Busch in another wreck. Kyle Larson actually ends up finishing top 10 despite having to go to the pit.
I heard the crew saying you should start a racing podcast, and I agree.
I don't think anybody needs another podcast.
In general,
I shouldn't put that on the record because
In general?
it's inevitable that I'm going to have another podcast at some point. I'll just get freezing cold take. Right now, I'm paring down.
really.
College World Series is better than ever right now, too. I don't know if you guys are locked in.
There was a hidden ball trick.
You feel me?
Yeah. See, look, all these niche sports, I follow it so you guys don't have to.
There's a
Right.
school. There's
Well,
a
thank
school.
you.
There's a school
I
playing.
appreciate your service.
yeah, I'm telling you, there is a selflessness to it.
There's a school playing that school no longer exists. The
Well, that's
school-
a D3.
Yeah, school closed, but their team is still in the running
How?
for winning the College World Series.
But how?
They had a walk.
How long ago did the school close?
Like last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they
They had a walk-off home run the day after their school.
they're
ceased
playing
to
out the
exist.
stretch
You
here.
have a zombie school in the
Exactly
D3
right.
College World Series.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's not Bishop Sycamore.
I think they're called walkers. Walkers.
Dog walkers.
No.
I didn't want to. Do I have to apologize to the Walker community?
So there's a school that has a team in its championship game that no longer exists.
Yes.
It's officially over for Birmingham Southern.
Oh,
They
they
lost
lost yesterday?
11-10 yesterday to Wisconsin
heartbreaker.
Whitewater.
Oh,
But
how
yeah,
sad.
on the 31st, they played their first game of the Division III College World Series. On the 31st, their school had shut down permanently. So all of these players were going to need to find a new place to play the following season if they weren't seniors. And this is at the Division III level. And they actually started by losing their first game, but then came out of the elimination bracket by winning in walk-off fashion, apparently. And then yesterday lost by 1 run. So it's over for those guys now.
Not just find another place to play next year. Find a place to go to school.
Right.
Because their school doesn't exist anymore.
Well,
Correct.
you go to a D3 school for baseball because you want to play baseball, not for the school.
I mentioned.
No, he's right.
I mentioned
D3 school for baseball.
that I
bad news
feel
for you. You're
a
not
certain-
gonna play baseball.
well, that's
longer.
selflessness.
Oh, don't do that to hopes and dreams.
I'm sorry. Some people need their hopes
I
and
could have
dreams
played
crushed.
D3 baseball, which shows the level of baseball.
I
that
played
you
D3
have.
lacrosse. I mean,
Right.
Well, you got the lacrosse beat for us, so I appreciate that. And like I said, there is a selflessness to being the one that follows all these other sports, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Just my luck. I was randomly watching because I had action on it. White Sox Brewers, and I saw this kerfuffle.
Yeah.
That involved Tommy Pham, who's a
Right.
Chicago White Sox.
it always does, right?
And
Kerfuffle seems accurate.
so there was a play at the plate, and it wasn't much of a play at the plate. He was dead to rights, like as he was on his way over there. He is sliding. Wilson have the sound of this, so it doesn't seem like he's just angry at the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's play this clip and let's see if you catch the same vibes.
1-run ball game, close play at the plate, and actually it wasn't even close. It was a shallow fly ball to left field. You would expect the left fielder to throw the base runner out on that play, but the situation of the game, third base coach sends you got to go. I'm nailed out at home by a mile. I'm going to the dugout, and I hear the tough guy with all the hoorah. So I'll never start anything, but I'll be prepared to finish it. There's a reason why, I do all kinds of fighting in the off season, because I'm prepared to f somebody up. So you can take it as what it is.
He seems. I have to make a quick correction. That's Willem Contreras, not Wilson. Who they just love that division over there. The Contreras. I assume they're brothers at this point.
They've lost 11 straight.
Yeah, but
As you pointed out, you're gambling again.
it seemed like he was mad at people in his own locker room, and he was certainly mad at his third base coach. I
Yes.
couldn't tell who he was actually physically threatening.
Third base coach.
I don't think so.
I mean, he told him to go.
Saw the Brewers Wi-Fi password
Yeah.
in the background. There was a printer.
Wait,
Apparently.
what was it? I didn't see it.
No password. It's right there. So if you're at a Brewers game, you don't need a password for
Oh,
their
wow.
Wi-Fi. And there seems to be a printer at the top of his locker for some reason. I don't know if he brought that with him or if that's just always in the locker there.
Right.
History has shown us that Chicago White Sox should stop fighting. Just don't fight, brother.
Tim
Yeah.
Anderson's
You
never
could have
come back
ended
from
the
that.
sentence with the Chicago White Sox should stop.
Well, there is rumors that they're trying to leverage a move, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're
What, for a
trying to
new
get it-
stadium?
Yeah.
Potentially move to another city.
Well, they want a new stadium.
It's hard existing in a city that has the Cubs.
They should go to Oakland.
No, the Mets have that problem with the Yankees. They should go to Oakland. That's funny. The Mets have those struggles with the Yankees, yeah. The Islanders with the Rangers.
Yeah,
The
but
Nets with the Knicks.
But when the Mets are winning, they've shown that they can draw
Yeah,
people
the
out
Mets
there.
have a lot of fans.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, yes, but
And they have a good stadium, too.
Yeah.
I know, but
Lots
the
of
Yankees,
A new one.
the Yankees are the more popular team. They've
Yeah,
won
but
more.
They're doing just fine.
The Mets have Seymour Wiener.
They're not
That's
doing
true.
fine.
The Mets are not?
There's this new thing happening. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this happen live or not, but apparently people are going into Chipotle with their cameras rolling, taking videos of the Chipotle employees putting food in their burrito bowls to try to coax them into giving them a little bit extra meat, a little bit extra rice, bigger portions as a way of shaming them, I guess. And recently I've seen the CEO of Chipotle now come out and give a little hint as to how you can get bigger portions at Chipotle without shaming the employees. And I have a hard time believing that this is real.
The theory
First, I
is
can tell you the portions have not gotten smaller. One of the things I think it's great about Chipotle is if you come into the restaurant and you want a little more rice or you want a little more pico, all you got to do is kind of And usually our guys and women give them a little more scoop.
He gave,
Was
he
he
gave like a
real?
face and a nod.
Is
He
that a
looked like,
wink?
hey,
Is that
I-
a nod? Is that real? Is that? I don't think
It's
that's
real.
real. No, go to the one by my house. It's not real.
Well,
I give him a nod. He gives me more chicken. He doesn't know
The
that.
theory is that if you film them, they're afraid to get bad publicity
Right.
for not giving you large enough portions. So
Right.
if you have your camera on, they give you extra so that you don't publish a video criticizing them saying they're not giving you enough food.
I understand that, but he's also saying just go in there, a little look, a little nod, little.
I do think the look works.
Oh, the nod works.
Really?
That nod works.
just
What?
there.
I'm telling you, I get the chicken
You
burrito.
think this is in the employee
They
handbook?
put a little chicken in there. All it takes is just a little.
Can I get a little
They're
bit?
saying
You don't
if
even
you
have to
get-
finish the
The
sentence.
employee
the
handbook is
customer
funny,
gives
right?
you a nod and give him a little.
It's part of training.
Look, you got two dudes in here that have lived it.
I've had
When's
that
the-
experience.
This is what I do. They put whatever on mine. I be like, but hell nah. And they be like, okay. Like I be loud about mine.
It
a
is
little bit
crazy.
more than that, please?
It's always been crazy to me how they're so with the meat. They're like every piece counts.
Yes.
But with guac, they will put
Slap
so
it
much
on.
guac.
Cheap.
You
yeah.
know they throw away a ton of guac at the end of the
It's
day because
crazy.
it goes bad really quickly. That they're like, we'll just slap this.
They will
guac
put
on.
a cup full of sour cream on my burrito,
So
but a
much
little
sour
extra
cream.
chicken? No, that's too far.
The way that I've experienced a lot of these videos, though, is I never actually see the point of view from the person filming. I always see a video show up on my timeline of some dude filming, but he's being filmed
You
by
see
someone
the video
else.
of the video.
Yeah, like these influencers that have been doing this a lot, they go in essentially with a recording team. Like, hey, I'm going to go up there and do this thing. Make sure you document me so people know that it's me, because if I'm holding the camera, people don't know that it's me, and I need to get my shine in. There has only been one time that I actually tried to manipulate the order, and it's not the quantity of food, it's the time that I get it. And it's led to some like awkward exchanges, so I just don't do it anymore. But I know in drive-thrus they time people, and occasionally the people working the drive-thru window will say, "Hey, can you pull out in front?" This is the reason why they do this is because if they get penalized if the clock runs down on them. So it's a way to manipulate the clock. You cease being the priority if you agree to move forward. And then oftentimes, every time I've done that and made that concession, what ends up happening is
sit there for 10
I'm
minutes.
sitting there for a long time and I get handed lukewarm food.
You walk into, you have to even, I've walked in before,
Yeah.
like after 15 minutes, like, did you forget?
So
Like,
I've done a
So
handful
you're
of
saying the
times.
employees are on the clock. They're shooing you off to a parking spot in front of the restaurant because of them.
Yeah.
They're not trying to do anything for you.
Right.
They're
Chris.
doing it to improve their time.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. When I go through a drive-through, hand me my food through a window, please.
Well, that's what they do. Except Chris, if he gets upset, walks in and he says, "Hey."
No,
What
after
the
like
hell?
15 minutes of like pull around, we'll
This
bring it out
visual
to
is
you.
amazing.
Yeah, I walk
I
in like,
want to see that.
here's my
I
receipt.
want a
Here's
TikToker
my
to
food.
film that.
When they ask you to do that, they're trying to take advantage of the situation. And so, like, sometimes my response has been like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I know that." And some people have been cool about it, and some people have got like really mad by it. And I've just stopped doing it, and I just deal with like, okay, I'm just gonna get colder food now, and it always happens. Like you get nothing for agreeing to move up, except you make their lives easier.
It's also possible you've ordered something that's not ready, and the other orders are now stacking up because yours isn't ready. They know it's going to take 7 minutes or
You
whatever
have a
to cook, and
Timberland
now
logo in your
everyone's
French
gonna
fries.
get-
I understand, but the notion and concept of fast food is that it's supposed
Well,
to be.
I think Chipotle also, the appeal is that there's some hot and there's some cold. And if the hot and the cold meld together before you get the chance to eat it, it's all one temperature.
and it's
You
impossible
want
to
a hot bite
microwave.
of chicken
Yeah.
and rice without you can't microwave it because if you get some sour
Guac.
cream or some guac,
I don't wanna
some
microwave the
smetana
guac.
on it, you can't microwave that. It's nasty. Interesting.
So you're telling
I've
me
never
if-
had Chipotle.
If I walk into my local Chipotle today, and I give a little nod for more chicken, you're telling me I'm going to get it?
Yeah, you can
Yes.
essentially ask, "Hey, could I get a little bit more?"
You know
And
what?
you don't even have to
I
finish
want
the
our
sentence. I'll be like,
Billy,
"Yeah,
we'll
sure."
get back to that in a second. I want our listeners, if you go to well, actually, you know what? This is playing right into Chipotle's hands. This is bad press. This is
Oh,
now
is this great for
coming
them?
back around. This is great for them. But if you go to Chipotle today, which I'm sure Tony will or someone will, do a
Not
nod.
me.
Don't film them because that's mean. Don't harass the workers. All right, they don't get paid very much. Be nice to the workers, but give them a nod. See if you get double meat. And
Also,
let us
give
know.
them if it go back around and then come back and order something else and give them but hell nah, and see how much you get compared to the first
Just
time.
play the message from their CEO and be like, he told me, you know? He put everyone in a bad spot, the CEO.
Can
He's
we
terrible.
play? Can we
Yeah.
play that video again? I want you to pay attention to like the look that he gives. Like this nod is such a. If you're listening to this, you won't be able to see it, but he gives like a little like a yeah.
And pay attention to his dead eyes.
First, I can tell you the portions have not gotten smaller.
Yes,
One of
they
the things I think it's great about Chipotle is if you come into the restaurant and you want a little more rice or you want a little more pico, all you got to do is kind of like, and usually our guys and women give them a little
That
more
is the
scoop.
look. That is the look.
It's BS.
He
He's
nailed
put
it.
all his employees in a bad spot.
You make a noise, but you don't say a word.
Right.
It's just like,
Slight nod to the left.
It's like the
this.
look that the guy
Right.
in the Fire Festival documentary gave in that one clip. It's like a
Kick saving the butte and women also. brother.
Guys,
for guys and women.
But that's irresponsible. I don't know why I'm
Two
stuck on
genders.
this, but I am.
Yeah, what is your concern with this?
Because he can't do that.
Why?
Because people are going to walk in and they're going to do this little nod.
And the workers are going to be like,
They're going to
what the
expect more chicken or steak or something, and they're not going to get it.
Well, then in your back pocket, almost quite literally, you just whip out the phone.
That's your proof.
Yeah, like
Right.
I didn't want to choose this method, but here we are.
I didn't want to.
I didn't
want to resort to this.
All right.
First of all, the portions have gotten smaller, by the way. That's why this whole thing started, was because people started filming it to shame Chipotle, post online and be like, look, shame on you. You only give me like 4 tiny pieces of chicken now, and they'll slap on that sour cream, but I want more chicken. All right, I'm not
A
here for
mountain of guac.
I'm not here for a mountain of sour cream.
so much guac.
And lettuce. Give me more meat. That's gonna
Why are you
that's gonna go in
fixated on the
club.
guac?
Those
It's
are
a
big
club.
spoons they
Anyways.
use to scoop that guac.
I
and
know.
They fill it up.
They slap it on too.
They
They
like, it is
they
just like-
Is it
slap
too much?
Way too much
Can
guac.
you nod the other way and tell them less?
Can I get a little less guac? A couple more pieces of chicken.
Is
You think
guac
you-
avocados?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smashed up, and avocados are expensive as
That's
hell.
what I'm
What are
saying.
y'all
It doesn't
doing?
make
They
any
charge
sense.
extra for the guac.
Damn.
Honestly.
It's a guac.
What?
What? Who?
Croc.
One left to his own device.
Oh, come on.
Wait, Billy, you've never been to Chipotle ever?
Never.
That's
No.
It's
crazy.
overrated, by
Never
the way.
have.
That.
No, it's properly rated.
I don't think it is.
What about like a Qdoba or like a Baja Fresh?
I like Baja
Lime.
Fresh. Baja
Lime
Fresh is
I've
very
been to.
good.
Yeah, lime.
Moe's?
Moe's I've been to.
Welcome to
Qdoba.
Moe's.
Yeah. So Chipotle is just like that.
Yeah, but back in the
better.
day, I feel like
They like
one-
to fancy themselves as not a fast food chain, but they're a fast food
One
chain.
day I'm gonna have
Yeah.
like great grandkids and gonna be like, back in 2015, Chipotle was the greatest food on earth. You'd go to Chipotle and you get some spicy chicken and a mountain of guacamole, and they'd give you a little extra sometimes.
My daughters think
you
that
didn't
already.
even have to
Yeah.
wink at them,
Yeah.
and then everything changed after the norovirus, and it was never the same.
It did change somewhere along the way. It's like the first time going to Chipotle, you're like, wow, how can Taco Bell deal with this? And then you realize, oh, they have the Doritos Locos Tacos. They're going to be fine.
Chipotle
Grab
opened
some
my
greens.
mind to corn salsa.
Really?
I was never a corn salsa guy.
Really?
Oh, it's my favorite thing.
So you
there.
went there?
A little extra. I give him a nod for that sometimes.
Do you?
A little extra.
Does it work?
You act
Sometimes.
like if the people that are there, like creating this food, are like gatekeepers that refuse to give you extra.
I'm just
like a lot
saying-
of times it's people that really don't give a crap.
No.
And they're like, whatever, man. Here you
I'm
go.
just
Here's
saying the
another scoop."
CEO put everyone in an impossible spot.
I don't think so.
Well, they have the card now. The card of your boss told me to come in here and just give you a nod. And I
Yeah,
get
so
more.
here you go. Take
I
Statute
pull
of
up my
limitations.
video and
Where
like,
does it end?
this
I'm
is
not
your
paying
boss.
for the beans. What
I
do I
mean-
care?
The statute of limitations is up. When I worked at McDonald's, I will give you all the fries your eyes desire. Like I will pour the whole bag like Five Guys.
That's what I'm
for the
saying.
fries.
Customer's always right. Keep the customer happy. Who cares?
Oh, I love that about Five Guys.
Yeah.
Just keep it like, yeah, I ordered a fry,
know.
but I essentially ordered a bag.
Right.
And you fill this
Essentially,
bag.
you could give me a funnel and just put it in my mouth and keep loading
Yeah.
fries
Yep.
into it from Five Guys or wherever, McDonald's, and maybe also Chipotle, but a little mix of every bite. That's why it was great, because you get a little bit of everything, a little bit of every flavor in your Chipotle. And then I read this, and I don't know if this is true, but apparently after the whole norovirus outbreak, they stopped preparing some of their food on site, so it wasn't as fresh anymore because of health and sanitary issues. And if that's true, then I guarantee you that's where the quality went.
That's a
also,
guac.
they expanded and they're like everywhere now, and there's just more of them. So I think naturally the quality probably goes down when you have 1,000 locations.
Are we going to deal with chicken inflation? I saw like over the weekend a tragic fire. 1 million chickens perished in a fire.
Really?
Yeah. It's like one of the largest free range
terrible.
farms. Yeah.
Sounds like a
million
party.
chicken.
Our hearts go out to the chickens. So what are you asking here?
T's and P's, but jeez. Call some friends. There's dinner.
Are you asking if chicken's going to cost more?
Well, that's the way everything's going.
Are you
isn't
tying
it?
these two stories together?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dead chickens. Chickens cost more.
I mean, that's
I wonder what it smelled like, too.
It smelled delicious. It was like the most delicious smelling tragedy ever.
I mean, it's an insane number. It's an
But
unbelievable
gotta be less
number.
than a
like
percent of the supply.
I feel like it's not that much.
Yeah.
1 million chickens.
Yeah, I feel like if you knew the chicken industry, you'd be like, yeah, it's kind of
Where do you keep 1 million chickens?
in a coop.
Around Atlanta, it's like
Right.
the chicken
In that
capital
building
of the
that
world.
caught on fire.
Some guy like
obviously.
just smoking a cigarette.
Oh,
Weird.
Rest in power, chicks.
Yeah.
sad. Well, they're
Why are you making it like a scene out of Cobra?
I don't know. How does just fires are weird, man.
Right.
What? Let's expand on that.
Put it on the poll. Or fire's weird.
You
Man.
think someone would just like when it starts, you put it out.
Right.
But someone was like, gonna let that'll go out on its own.
Just throw water on it. Unless it's a grease fire, Chris. You don't want to throw water on a grease fire. That
what I've
makes it
heard.
worse.
true.
Yeah.
I did think you were gonna say because of bird flu. I'm not sure if you guys have read about bird flu, which is now a thing. It's in a few states. A couple people like adjacent to farms have gotten it. And there's been some warnings to farmers, but like I haven't seen a ton of mainstream coverage about bird flu, but it's on my radar. Okay, bird flu is on my radar, and I don't want this to become a whole thing, like the last time we had this whole thing where everyone's like, we already did this, we're not doing this again. But I'm a little nervous.
It's on your radar.
I'm not gonna lie, it's
in
on my
enough
radar.
places where you're concerned, is what you're saying.
I wouldn't say I'm concerned.
Just
yet.
radar,
It's
right.
on my radar.
Okay.
Concern is the next level.
Okay.
Some people should be concerned. I'm not one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on a sports podcast for a living. It's on my radar, but I'm not concerned.
Who
Okay.
should be?
Farmers,
Oh.
for sure.
Darren Waller should be concerned.
Yeah.
Wow.
I heard he's retiring.
Yes. Rest in power, his career.
Why do you do?
Now imagine, close your eyes and imagine like a little skinny guy singing this song and like it's produced like impeccably. Think the
If this was Post Malone, I
There
might
we
be like,
are.
oh no.
There we are. We're back. Salute.
The video kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
It did more than ruin
And
it.
I'm kind of kidding.
Why do you do a video? Waller.
Attention.
Really?
What do you think his real thought was when he gets it's produced now? He filmed it and then he gets it sent back to him once the editing's done and he watches it. Like, what is he thinking in that moment? Like, is he like, this is exactly what I wanted it to be?
He thought this is gonna be bigger than Wapam Gangnam Style. Wait till she sees this.
But there's no one in his life that says, hey, this is a bad idea.
Well,
Anyone?
I think they're divorced now, so
There you
The
are.
person he's leaving is the person who would tell him.
that's probably who would have been like, hey,
Right.
we shouldn't do that.
It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations brought to you by Miller Lite Lazy River. Great taste, 96 calories, available for delivery. Dan, they had to play a murderer's row of goaltenders. Vasilevsky, Swayman, and Igor. But one by one, they came out victorious. How'd they do it? One shift at a time. Pucks in deep, and guys going to the net. Now, they're playing their best hockey as the calendar turns to June. And Dan, make no mistake about it, just like that, for the second consecutive season in the Stanley Cup Finals, the Florida Panthers are back.
It's final.
Zelensky. Who was that?
I have no idea. Kylian
You
Mbappe.
turned him into the guy from Tommy
Vasilevsky.
Boy. Vasilevsky.
Vasilevsky from Tommy Boy. You're right.
Made him Dan Aykroyd in Tommy Boy. We sell tires because people, what was it? He had like the whole spiel. All right, sorry.
That guy in
It might be his best role. I'm serious.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. Kylian Mbappe joining Real Madrid after Real Madrid won the Champions League. Mbappe, the Kevin Durant, is strong in you. Am I pronouncing his name wrong?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mbappe.
Sir. Mbappe. It's Mbappe. It's French.
Juju, you know what the K in Kylian stands for? KD.
Oh, nice.
What a laugh.
That was a good one.
The
Those
Boston
three nominees.
Celtics. The rare playoff run when you get to the finals and still haven't faced a good team. It's crazy. I'm not even certain Dallas is good.
Asterisks on the championship if they win it.
Perhaps.
No.
Death, taxes, and the New York Rangers wasting the best goalie in the league. It's what they do.
Aw.
Suck it, Wiggity.
Rangers Panthers, the rare series that went 6 games that never felt close. If the Rangers didn't have Igor, they would have gotten swept. It was Taylor's, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you hear, by the way, North Carolina, Yankees, or Rangers related, Taylor.
Great set of calves.
If you say so. Did anybody else forget that Dirk Nowitzki and Luka Doncic were teammates?
Huh.
You didn't know that, did you, Jeremy? They were
This
teammates.
is blowing my mind.
I know. Teammates. And I'm tired of everyone telling me that he's already better than Dirk. He's not. Win a title. Although Luka's my guy now.
But do it in the playoffs.
Do it in the finals.
He's a gag.
Juan Soto. Blank check. Collision course. Taylor. Aaron Judge. Juan Soto. That's a 1-2 punch. Taylor.
Nice.
It's not an observation.
We should get this sponsored by TaylorMade next.
It is a 1-2 punch.
I like that.
Or Baby Ruth.
Since May 1st, the Mets have lost 6 games when leading after 8 innings. No other team in the majors has more than 2. I hate them.
You could just skip the Yankees stuff if you don't want to read it.
Taylor's fun. Dan.
You skip the 2 best hitters in baseball play for the Yankees, the Bronx Bombers.
I crossed it out.
That's
Taylor.
the one that he crossed off. And this one you crossed off, this Rangers one, because you don't know how to say those names, correct?
Is it
Correct.
Zibanejad?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Say those names. Give that observation.
Panarin,
Right?
The Breadman.
Zibanejad,
Wow.
Creeder,
Huh.
scoring 2 goals combined in 6 games.
Wow.
You know what happened when the Rangers big three? What happened to the Rangers big 3?
What?
Lights got too bright.
Amazing. Taylor.
Breadman.
Get that man a credential.
I'm working on it, but Rose says she goes through Roy, so it seems like the buck stopped
no.
here. Yeah, Roy's the real.
Puck stopped here.
Exactly right. Roy's the real
Stops at
Igor
Roy.
of my chance of
Roy doesn't
covering
want
the
you
Stanley
there.
Cup final.
Roy wants this all to himself.
I kind of think that's what's going on.
Dan, using part 2 of his conversations with George Sedano, Joy Taylor, and Gojo to get the company to pay for a trip for him and his wife to go to California. Dan, how'd he play? Also, the Stugotz is very strong in you.
Taylor.
Taylor.
Don't do that to Taylor. That's soaking with John.
Taylor. Paper towels. You always think you bought enough, but you never do.
Have you tried
Great.
the washable ones?
No.
Washable paper towels?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No,
times
thank
10.
you.
I kind of like them.
Really?
I kind of like
You
them.
reuse
Really?
it?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Okay.
How do you dry them?
You put them in the washing machine and just leave them out to dry.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the difference between that and a towel?
Not a big one. More absorbent, I guess.
Okay.
They're Swedish.
What?
Yeah.
How much do they cost?
A couple bucks.
Really?
And they're cute.
Interesting. I found this website. We
Yes.
can get into it later.
No, get
We'll
into
talk
it
about
now.
that later.
What do you mean? Lazy River.
Well, I found this.
I have Jeremy telling me the Mavs roster is blowing his mind. We'll
You
get to that
would
in a
not
second. Lazy
believe
River.
the people
Yes.
who are
We'll
on
get
this
to the
team.
website later. I need to test it. Is the thing.
Okay.
Like,
What's
paper towels are expensive. That's kind of the point.
You always think you've purchased enough, but you haven't.
But I've seen like places. I don't know if you've seen this, that it tells you like this place was or this product was made in the same exact factory as this name brand product because the name brand shares with whoever it is, and they just don't go by the name brand, but it's the exact same product.
Right.
So I've been trying to find that for Bounty, the quicker picker
It's
upper.
cheaper.
I'm trying to find a cheaper thing,
Right.
and then I found a website that you can buy furniture, dupe.com or something like that, and you basically. This is the way it's advertised on social media. I haven't explored
You're
this yet.
dangerously close to 1 minute for boring.
What?
Really?
All right. Waste your money, gang. I'm not telling you how to save money.
I mean, I'm good with it. I don't
Nope.
control that.
Nope.
Like,
That's
no,
worth
finish the story.
it's worth
Nope.
He said you were
gatekeeping.
close.
I was close. You
Close.
You didn't
Nope.
do
And it's
it.
2 minutes. That's a
Nope.
fine. I
Right.
mean,
See, I'm wrong.
Nope,
Right.
I'm saving money. Not you guys.
I'm sorry.
do you mean?
Waste your monies.
I didn't mean it, Billy.
You copy the URL and then allegedly you go dupe.com/ and then you paste it, and this website gives you cheaper versions of any product with a URL. Allegedly.
How do you spell dupe?
DUPE.
Thank
I'm
you.
back in.
Allegedly.
How are you spelling it?
Yeah, how are you going to spell it?
DOOP.
What?
What?
Dupe.
What?
Huh?
The 2018-19 Mavericks,
Mm-hmm.
a team with Luka Doncic.
Doncic. That's fine.
All right. Harrison Barnes,
Right. What?
DeAndre Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
JJ Barea,
Right.
Jalen Brunson, Dirk, and Antetokounmpo, and former Tar Heel Justin Jackson Taylor.
And Antetokounmpo.
Right, that's disrespectful.
Costas.
Which one?
Good job with the Taylor, though.
I think it was Giannis.
Yeah. Top 5 things you think you've bought enough of, but you never do. Number 5, toothpaste. Number 4, toilet paper.
I feel like I always have enough of that.
No, you don't. You think you do. Number 3, water. Number 2, paper towels. Number 1, gummies.
OLI. Condoms.
Huh. We're different.
Attaboy.
We're living different lives. I mean,
Sorry about that.
sorry. Hey, Rangers,
Make your own list, Juju.
enjoy your President's Cup. A parade down Sunrise Boulevard, through the Sawgrass Mall, over the Sawgrass Corporate Expressway that swings around to Northwest 136th Avenue, over to Flamingo, passing landmarks like the Quarter Deck, Jacaranda Country Club, and of course, Edmore Chevrolet collision course.
Shout out 136. That's my street.
I know. Love that street.
Don't tell
Stop
people.
at the
Wait, what?
coast.
What?
It's
a long street.
What's the cross street? What's the other one?
Well,
like the
595.
avenue or
I'll
whatever.
give you that. The highway.
Dupe.com lets you do it like one time for free, and then you need to sign in. I was
Scam.com.
dupe.com too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I go to CherylSwoops.com and get those sweet Nikes.
If the Panthers don't have a flow called the Bandwagon featuring this show, then we've done something wrong. I miss football. I said it. I miss it.
You do too.
Darren Waller released an awkward music video about his divorce. The W in Waller stands for "What the are you doing?"
The W should have stood for whoa.
If you are Darren Waller, you have to have at least one person in your circle say, "Hey, maybe don't put that out."
Also, if somebody in his circle should have said, whoa. Okay, I'm gone.
Stay right here. LeBron should show up to team workouts with Bronny to show how much better he's gotten. In my personal record book, the only people that have any right to be excited about the Panthers are Roy and my friend Walter Katz.
You already said that.
Yeah, use that one. Right?
Everyone else is a bunch of phonies. The P in Panther fan stands for a bunch of phonies or just phonies. StugottsBook.com.
Katz, your friend or Taylor's friend?
Walter is my friend.
Okay.
Did he change his last name to Katz because he's a Panthers
Oh
fan?
boy.
Also, Mike's Nicaraguan friend.
What?
Nicaraguan. Wow.
Easier, Joel.
Yeah, Joel.
Listen to a little Joe Rose for the first time in years.
Doggy.
Gave him a quarter hour. In return, I got 12 commercials, 6 voiced by him, traffic, and 1 minute of content that came from someone filling in for Joe Rose.
That's how it's done.
Guy has it figured out.
You made like 30 grand for that 15 minute.
The big dog. Underrated sports radio career, Joe Rose.
By who?
By me, by anyone.
Who says it's underrated?
He's had a great run.
I know. Who's underrated?
No one talks about him as the all-time greats, as
Right.
one of the all-time greats. It's Mad Dog. It's Francesa. It's Jim Rome. No one ever mentions Joe Rose.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's because it's down here.
I'm not sure if I know who that is.
Wow.
Big dog.
Well, I know who it is, but Juju doesn't know who it is.
Zagak.
Yeah.
Not certain if anyone else is noticing the great tennis being played on the red clay of Roland Garros. Top 5 people in sports that can know clay. Number 5, Jim Gray. Number 4, Reggie Ball.
What's Jim Gray? I know, but
Clay is gray. Unless it's red, Michael Red. Red Clay. Number 2, Jay Glazer.
Who was 3?
I did all of this just to get to number 1, Eric Molds.
Wait, Clay Thompson's not even on this
Clay
list.
Matthews.
Jay
There's so
Glazer?
many Clays.
Valhalla. 40 milligrams.
Who was number 3?
Michael Red Clay.
Troy Aikman.
What?
Huh?
Clay Aiken.
That was great.
It's a different game. Eric Molds. Come on.
Red Auerbach.
Anyway. If there's a way to lose, the Mets will figure out how. Not enough people are talking about how Bryce Perkins has changed the Michigan Panthers offense. Is that true? With his dual threat ability at quarterback,
You wrote it.
heading into the UFL playoffs. Taylor.
That's Mike.
Baseball is better when home runs are going into McCovey Cove. It's better.
Yes, Taylor. The Yankees were playing.
Connor McDavid doing it in the
Last
Stanley
night.
Cup Finals. The Oilers winning despite being outshot 33-10. You know what they say, right, Billy?
What? Yeah.
Quality over quantity.
It's 35-10.
To the fans waiting at the airport at 2 a.m. to clap when their team gets back, do me a favor. Get a life.
Wow.
I'm serious. Who's doing that at 2 a.m.? Would you ever do that?
No.
Would
Not
you?
At this stage of my life, no.
Notre Dame wins a national championship. You there at 2 a.m.?
At the airport?
Yes.
I'm at space with Mike Ryan and Cynthia. You crazy?
Here come the Brewers. The White Sox, have lost 11 straight. White Sox. You know what the W in White Sox stands for? Not wins. Oilers, going for their first title since 1990. Panthers, going for their first title ever. You know what that means, Jess?
Something's got to give.
Oh, wow. I asked Jess, not you. Love a handshake line after a hard-fought hockey series.
the best.
It's the greatest. It's the best tradition in sports.
I love when they take the sticks.
Except
and
for the
they-
Masters.
Tap them on
Tap 'em on the
Yeah.
ice.
That's usually when they're paying respects. To
It's a great
something.
one.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It is crazy how angry they are with each other and they never fight in that line. Respect always is
Always
there's
respect.
The
always
announcers
respect.
always
Coaches
remind
hugging
you about
coaches,
that.
goaltenders hugging goaltenders.
You don't want to touch
Respect.
the trophy for winning, but you want to touch a bunch of losers' hands.
Fair point.
Never thought about
Allegedly
that.
losers.
If you ever for a second think you know more puck than Roy Bellamy, think again. Unless you're Walter Katz.
Yeah, Walt.
I still can't get over the Darren Waller music video. Hell is he thinking? Speaking of hell, Art Briles. Dan, those are the weekend observations.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.